How's everyone doing? Juan here. We're going to get into the topic of how to be your authentic self. And I kind of want you to think about that for a little bit. I think to some degree, we all, if you dig deep, we all really want to become our authentic self. We want to be able to wake up and say, this is my genuine me. I love who I am. I love the life that I'm living. I like my quirkiness. I like my silliness. And whenever I'm mean and grumpy, that's still me too. But then comes this process, right? Like, what is the process to become our authentic self? How do we do it? And I know if you're out there, you probably have done what I've done. You probably got on Google and you looked up Amazon and you looked up books and you looked up different speakers and professionals and individuals that speak about the topic. And then you find yourself still in the position of, how do I become my authentic self? I want to walk with you in this journey. I want to share about 4 to 5 clear points of direction where if you have the question, if you're sitting here with me and you're looking at that variable, that question of, yes, I want to know how to become my authentic self. I want to know how to grow into me. Let's first start with values. Values highlight who we are. For me, my name is Juan and I value family. And it goes beyond that. It's not just that I value family. It's that I allow that to become a light in my life. So when I wake up in the morning, I wake up with the idea of, what am I going to do with my family today? Am I going to play with the kids on the trampoline? Am I going to mess around and joke around and play playful with my wife? Am I going to say, let's get up and jump in the car and let's go for a ride to the farmer's market? Family is connected to that value, right? Because in that value, all of those activities I shared with you, they have to do with family. That's why it's so important for us to, as we develop and as we grow into our authentic self, we're able to write down a list of our values. And if you want a place to start with the beautiful platform of Google. Get on Google and get on there and write down what are examples of values. You're going to see wisdom, family, religion, wealth, kindness, art. You're going to see so many different terms on there. I want you to not feel overwhelmed. I want you to embrace each of them. And then on a clean sheet of paper, pick the one that really connect to you. Pick 5, pick 10, pick 20, pick 100. Just pick the ones that to some degree connect to you and you're able to smile at. You're able to say, yeah, I resonate with that value, family. Or, I want to resonate with that value, religion. I want to be religious in my life. I'm not sure how. Maybe I wasn't given that upbringing, but I want that in my life. So then, that's one strategy there. After you write down those values, then you're looking at the question, how do I put this into action? So I gave you examples of my value with family. By engaging with my family, playing with the kids on the trampoline, right? Being silly, grabbing a water gun and filling it up with water and then squirting my kids and they're squirting me back. That allows me to be my authentic self because my authentic self has that value of family. So you see where we're getting at, this journey that we're getting on, right? We're on this trail together and we're learning about our authentic self, who we are on a very genuine, authentic level. And I'm that person that has a water gun and I'm squirting my kids and they're squirting me because it relates to my value of family. So now that you have this list in front of you, I want you to treat it in the same manner. The second strategy is I want you to reflect on what other people have said about you. Think about your life, whether you're 15 years old, 20, 30, 110, whatever age you may be out there. I'm getting silly here. I want you to think about every interaction you've had and maybe pull out 10 that are pivotal. Think about these interactions that connect to a certain individual, whether it's your father, your friend, some sort of peer. How would this person describe you? What would they say about you? Would they say that you're professional, that you're kind, that you're the type of person that gives your shirt off your back, that you're the type of person to go above and beyond, that you are considerate of others? How do they describe you? So on a clean sheet of paper again, on a clean sheet of paper, one more time, I want you to write down these 10 individuals. And I want them to be people that you respect, people that you find important in your life. And then I want you to think about how they would describe you. And if you want to go above and beyond, if you want to do a little extra homework here, or back in high school, what's it called, extra credit? If you want to do a little bit of that, then reach out to those individuals and ask them the question. Say, hey, how would you describe me? What type of adjectives would you use to describe me? and see what they say. So then from there, what you're going to do is you're going to treat it in a manner of, does this align with me? The way that you're being described, does it align with you? So if you have a friend and they're saying that you're very kind, you're asking yourself, does it align with me? Is that me? Is that me in my authentic level? And if you're able to breathe easy, if you're able to digest those words and kind of take a deep respiration and it relates to you, it grounds you. Grounds you meaning that you're this drum that's vibrating. But then once you're given that word of kindness, I am a kind person, that drum reduces its vibration and builds stability. So then if that relates to you, I want you to hold on to that. As you reflect on these past interactions, I want you to also see what you're willing to let go of. You know, maybe who you are now is very different than who you were back in middle school. Maybe in middle school, you were really into just wanting to be the very best at everything, right? But now you're wanting other people to be the very best at everything. And those people back then remember you in a certain way, but you are not that individual anymore. You've engaged in a transformation, a change process, if you will. So when you're looking at these past interactions, give yourself the kindness, the respect, and the space to be able to say, this is who I am now, and these are certain qualities, behaviors, adjectives, if you will, that I'm willing to let go of. And again, it's a process to grow into, to become our authentic, genuine self. The next area I want you to look at is how many of these past interactions connect to expectations. And what I mean by an expectation would be that if I look at my life and I go, you know what, Juan, on an authentic level, are you a, perfectionist? Because it seems like whenever you're in school, you're always trying to get the best grade. And if you get a B, you're sweating bullets. Where did that come from? Is that you on an authentic level? Is that me? So then I dig deep. Almost like if I see a plant in my yard and it seems a little bit sick and I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with this plant. I do have a green thumb, by the way. Doesn't look very green, does it? So I would dig into the plant. I would dig around it and figure out the roots. And I would dig into my life and figure out, where did this sense of perfectionist come from? And maybe it came from my upbringing. Maybe my father and my mother were very disciplined and very strict. If I came home with a B, they would frown. If I came home with an A, they would smile. So over time, that provided me with this space to acknowledge that I needed to be a perfectionist, because what I wanted most in life was a smile from my father, from my mother. So then now as an adult, I look at that and I say, no, that is not my authentic self. That is an expectation that over time I engaged with in a manner of wanting to seek approval for a smile from my father, from my mother. But now as an adult, now more mature, now being able to dig that plant and understand why it's sick, why it's hurt. I can look at healing and I can look at recovering. I can look at, again, that variable there does not go into the equation of who I am on an authentic level. And I hope that relates to you. And that was hypothetical. I want you to know that it was a hypothetical example they were playing with. I wanted to give it to you in a style where you're able to learn how to play with it in your life. And then the next one is the next strategy that you can use to grow and to become and to become your authentic self is something called an immersive experience. And these are beautiful experiences, I'll tell you. When I was in graduate school, one of our professors in a multicultural class, they really encouraged us. They said, I want you as future clinicians to go out there to a space you've never been before, a space you never ventured to. So I went to a space. I went to a church I never went to before. And sitting there, I had such a lack of education, for this religious institution. And it was an immersive experience for me because I was able to learn how I interacted with it. I was able to learn how Juan, on an authentic, genuine level, connected with this institution that I've never seen before, that I was never exposed to. I was able to look into how my breathing took place. I was able to look at my heart rate, the thoughts that came in my mind. I was able to acknowledge my feelings, my behaviors in a whole new space. So this immersive experience allowed me to learn more about my authentic level. And then when I left that space, I went into a mindfulness effort. Juan, what was that like for you? Why was your heart rate accelerated at certain points? Were you nervous? Is that nervousness a central part of you? Do you sometimes get nervous during new experiences? So you see what I'm getting at. A new experience allows us to observe our body, observe our mind, and see how we react and how we function on a very authentic level. And again, in the beginning of this conversation, I shared with you the aspect of values. So values goes into that. So that's something that you can do in your life. You could look at what are immersive experiences. And you don't have to do one like me where I went to a religious institution. You can do one where you go and try out a new food. You can go where you go to a date to a new place you've never been to. Or you watch a show you've never watched before, right? You're going through Netflix and you're like, you know what? I'm not going to watch The Office again tonight, even though you like me may want to. So you watch a documentary you never watched before. You dive into it and you allow yourself to be authentic. You observe how you react. What are your thoughts like? What are your behaviors like? That allows you to learn more about who you are. And the last one I want to share with you has to do with a deep reflection of the positive role models who have supported you to become who you are. Now, whenever you're looking at becoming and building yourself into your authentic, genuine you, more than likely you know some parts or certain parts of you that are strong. And I'll give you an example of me. I like to be kind. It's almost like my runner's high. When I get to work with people, I get such a good high that I could do sessions all day long, just back to back, interacting with individuals, learning of their life, being able to share tears with them, being able to learn and to grow. We get so much from each other. So that energy there, that variable, that authentic me that I love to help people, that I love to show kindness. I've had individuals in my life, and I still remember now this mentor I had in middle school. I think his name was John, and he worked in the medical field. But he would sit with me at lunch, and he would just mentor me. He would show me kindness. If I would tell him I wanted to do this or to do that, he would say, yes, you can do those things. So now I'm sharing with you an experience where I had someone in my life who acknowledged a variable that connected to my authentic self. This individual was able to acknowledge that me as a child, here's little Juan, if you will, and little Juan has this shining star, and the star highlights kindness. So then this individual, what they did was they allowed it to shine. They would polish it every time they would see me. So now as an adult, I can go back and I can say that is authentic to me, because I love that part about me, and this individual allowed me to foster it, to nurture it, and then to grow that quality. So as we walk away from this conversation, as we end and we get closer to closure here, I want you to take a last final bonus. Becoming and growing into our authentic self is a process. It's a journey, and it's a beautiful journey. It could be one where you engage in immersive experiences, you build on your values, you become who you are, and then you get to the point where you're able to take a step back and you're able to say, I love that I'm quirky. I love that I laugh at things that no one else laughs at. I love who I am. I love that I'm kind. I love that I'm loving. I love me. So at some point in your life, I hope that you're able to say that you love who you are. All right? So thank you for sharing space with me. Thank you for being here. I hope that the rest of your day goes amazing. And, I hope that you continue to go in the path that you're on, and that you're able to do the things that you want to do in your life.